right, hold on, let me get that.
In terms of being punitive, I've often heard politicians talk about coming down on crime. Police officers that are guilty of these crimes should serve no less than life in jail in terms of murder.
Whoa. Gentlemen?
In terms of being punitive,
Do you consider sex work to be real work?
Not really, no.
What if I told you?
Do not buy solar panels if you live in one of these 9 states of America. Americans living in zip codes starting with 378 or...
Imagine if you're not scared of death, you're not going to be a good slave. And this is one of the reasons Christianity preached suicide is a sin. Yeah? One of the reasons that you get your reward. You get your reward in the afterlife, but only if you're a good slave.
It really is a science of the spirit. And that this...
It's laundry day, Gary!
So me and my boyfriend have this...
So it took everyone 2 years to figure out that I was right.
Earlier today, I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death.
The mayor of Louisville, Kentucky started a hit squad to harass people of color in poor neighborhoods. The house that Breonna Taylor was renting from was sitting in the middle of a gentrification project that the mayor's developer buddies need to get rid of before they could start construction. So after cops arrested an actual drug dealer 10 miles and 10 minutes after, they faked a search warrant to go harass Breonna Taylor.
Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. We allege that the defendants knew their actions in falsifying the affidavit could create a dangerous situation.
Yeah, the dangerous situation was getting Breonna Taylor shot so the city could buy her house for $1. What, you thought I made that number up?
Without a lawful objective justifying the use of deadly force, defendant Hankerson traveled away from Ms. Taylor's doorway to the side of the building and fired 10 shots into Breonna Taylor's apartment through a bedroom window and a sliding glass door that were both covered with blinds and curtains.
Yeah, remember all those Blue Lives Matter people talking about, oh, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend shot 1 round first and then all the cops were returning fire. That's not what happened. 1 cop went to the side of the house and emptied a mag into a window. Yeah, you clowns are trying to be like, oh, the cops were scared for their lives, trying to give them qualified immunity when 1 dude literally went to the side of the house to do a hit job. So it took everyone 2 years to figure out that I was right.
Earlier today, I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor.
So that's not why I turned on the camera, but yeah. And this is our reality. This is the world we live in. You think I like seeing this? You think I like showing you guys this? You think I want to play victim? I'm not playing anything. I'm just showing you a reality that may not sit well with your sensibilities, with your mindset, with who you are. And that upsets you. It upsets me. The truth hurts. That's why we don't talk about truthful things. We talk about things that make us feel good. And there's nothing wrong with that, because right and wrong are very nebulous concepts that we like to think are hard, fast rules. We like to think that life isn't a huge gray area. But the gray area comes into play where emotions are a big factor. And basically what I'm trying to say is, this sucks. That this is the truth of the matter. And if you don't want to believe me, if you want to if you want to feel any type of way, it's okay. It's okay that you are alarmed and confused to see this type of information. Look at him. Look at this person on the screen. He's in shock. He's beside himself. He's like, this is disgusting behavior for people in uniform. Because I know police officers. I know federal officers. I know military men and women. And they would be disgusted to see this type of behavior. My dad was in the military. My father. A lot of black men and women died for this country in multiple different ways. On boats. Millions of black lives just died on boats because, white lives mattered more. It's crazy. You know how much black lives matter? I'll tell you how much. They'll make a TV show where people like me are butchered like cattle, and people will critically acclaim it and say, we want it to be gorier. So that's how much my life matters. It's just interesting. And to be honest, let's just bring it a step further. People just don't care about life in general because they want every single show to be gorier. They want every single show to be gorier, right? And since they have this need for gore and bloodshed, let's ask why. Do you know since the dawn of time, we've been bloodthirsty monsters? Since the dawn of time. And the main reason why is because people don't know how to deal with all their angst and anxiety and BS. So what do? They seek easy outlets. And the easiest outlet of all is aggression. Especially when other people are displaying it for you. You don't have to do anything but just watch and be like, yeah, do all the things that I can't do. Beat up this person. Yell at that person. Suffer the consequences for me. And it'll just alleviate my stress that much more. That's really what it is. Do you know why? Because that's how I felt when I was younger. And that's how I still feel sometimes when I see someone else get angry. Whenever I see the Hulk out on screen. Whenever I see some random, I don't know, cop in a TV show beat up a perp or whatever. You know, whenever I see someone just get mad, I don't know. It's cathartic for some reason. And anyone seeing this would be lying if they felt different. This is what it is. It's in our nature to be exhilarated at the sight of blood, one way or another, on one level or another, whether it's 0 to 100, even 0 is a number. So, or 0 is a state of I'm not going to get into that, but it's just the world we live in is so complex because of the lies, not because of things that are hard to understand. It's just because of the lies. Just because of the lies. Why? What point is there? I'm really asking, like, if you care about this country, you ask questions. If you care about something, you ask questions, right? So why aren't we asking more questions? Do we really care that little? It's like being a parent. If you don't take care of your child, it's going to have to take care of itself. And you may not like the way it does that. You may not like the way the child takes care of themselves. America's our child. Why are we taking care of it? Why are we letting other people take care of it for us? The government exists because the civilians want to live their lives. But if we don't, there's checks and balances. The civilians are one of those checks and balances. That's why they gave us the right to bear arms, the right to assembly. You understand how that's important. Do you understand how literally every single other country, they don't have those rights? It may say in their constitution that they have some semblance of those rights, but no. America has always been an experiment, and if our history books didn't lie to me on that note, when we ratified our constitution, every other country ratified their constitution after ours. They used ours as a model. If that's the truth. The history that I've been taught is a lie. So I don't know if that's true or not. I have to fact check that now. Growing up, I never thought I had to fact check the history I was taught. But now I do. So that's the reality we live in, where we have to fact check the history that we were taught in middle school, elementary school, high school. Apparently Calvin Coolidge was mixed. Apparently Abraham Lincoln was mixed. So we've had black presidents before. Maybe not in skin tone, but in nationality and heritage. So people need to understand vocabulary more. Nationality, heritage, bloodline, skin color. Like, people are all up in arms about this and that and what it means to be a woman. But people are still confused on what it means to be a black man and a white person. You have this guy named Quarter Black Garrett walking around touting his quarter blackness as whatever. I don't know if he uses it as a joke. I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Like, I used to like that show, Stephen Louder with Crowder. I thought it was entertaining. To a point. I mean, it's not like I watched every single episode. But, Quarter Black Garrett was an interesting character. Like, even the way I'm describing him, an interesting character, an interesting person. I don't know him as a person. I never will. Or I might. I don't know. I don't know how the universe works, but it's just interesting how it's like, you don't hear me call myself Black Dan or White Dan or quarter white Dan. For all I know, I have some white in me because, black people were raised by white people for like hundreds of years. So for all we know, every black person has a little bit of white in them, forcibly. Yeah. The reality that you don't want to confront. Every white person pretty much had slaves, and they raped us. So we're all intermingled anyway. So yeah, I've been using TikTok not to find dance challenges, but to help me navigate this reality that we live in. Everyone's on TikTok, so you actually find a lot of useful information out there. I would never understand any of our history. This is why I have trust issues, because you grow up being taught one history, the history of the victors. You realize that, right? That when one country takes over another, they write the history so that the country that took over doesn't seem like the bad guy. Doesn't that seem logical? That let's say if I went into your home and took over, if I wanted a seamless transition, I would take all the photos down of yours. I'll put photos of mine up. I would take the oldest people out of the home, put them somewhere else, and then the younger people, let's say there's like a baby living there, I'd raise the baby as my own, teach them that I always lived here. You see how easy it is to change history? Pretty sure they called it whitewashing. It's just very easy to change history. There's like a rumor, not even a rumor, because it's apparently true, trust issues. Our generation is a generation of trust issues, because nothing is real. Christopher Columbus, the great hero who discovered America by murdering all the Aztecs, by lying to them and stealing their food for the winter harvest. So when winter came, they had no food and they starved to death. Literally a whole civilization snuffed out from a lie. A very intelligent civilization. It's just amazing to me how humans as a society, or as a movement, or as a being, humanity itself is just so destructive. It's amazing. And it's just amazing. The world we live in. You can see I'm in shock. You can see I'm here trying to grasp at straws to make sense of my reality. When you are told that the sky is blue and then all of a sudden it turns red, imagine if you never saw a sunset. Imagine if you were only awake for 6 a.m. No. Imagine if you were only awake from what time is it now? Right now it's about 8 a.m. The sun's already up. The sky's blue, right? Imagine if you were only up from 8 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Because no matter what season, no matter what time of year, that time's always sunny, the sky's always blue. Let's just, for that scenario, right? And then all of a sudden you see this dark, deep crimson red sunset. You'd be like, what the flying fuck is that? You'd be beside yourself. You'd be like, yo, the sky is bleeding. What are we going to do? That's how life works. If you never encounter something and then all of a sudden your whole paradigm shifts, if all of a sudden you realize that literally no matter what we do, there's just going to be another lie uncovered. I'm at the end of my rope almost. I just want to stop being told that everything I knew is a lie. But as I get older, I'm finding that's not the case. Everything I've known is a fucking lie. And no one can tell me different because the history is there. The facts are there. Everything I've known my entire life is a lie. Thanks for watching Mental Breakdown in the Making. Everything I've known is a fucking lie.